Hey, hey, welcome to the very first episode of Craves and Gist with Jevida.
This is the Gist Corner, where we go behind the bottles and beyond the brand.
And today we are starting from the beginning. Yes, how Jevida Craves came to life. Let me just tell you, it wasn't your typical business launch. Oh. So let me the picture. We didn't exactly plan this brand.
This it was fun and vibes and inshallah. So I think okay, what actually started this brand? You just started making Zobo Sha because
So for months actually, for a time period, it was something I delighted to do. I would make it initially just for in-house use bottles that were available at home, and then it got to a point where I had used up all the bottles we had at home. And oh, I just remembered a very interesting story. So, some years back, right, when I was working, I still work. But years back in my former place of employment, I liked Zobo. So I would always buy Zobo. And I kept the bottles because I just had it in mind that one day, when I have time, I'll just make Zobo and put in those bottles, which was what I did. And my stockpile of bottles that I had saved for over a year finished.
then okay, so for my convocation, she actually now got these very cute bottles. That was in January. Yes, January 14. Q35 cl bottles, sha. So that was what we now used to pack like bottles earlier this year when that stockpile finished.
And when I thought about the fact that you look good. And so when I saw those bottles, it was just wonderful. I remember someone who had it was like, "Wait, Joanna, those bottles seemed sealed." Yes, of course they were sealed. They're new bottles. All right. So yeah, people had been asking, we had given to people, you'd of course share with friends. We can't keep this goodness just to ourselves. And for the longest time, for so many months throughout 2024, people kept asking, how much is it? What would you sell? We want to buy. When would you sell? I mean, let us have it. And I just kept saying, I don't want to do it. I mean,
It's
I
just
don't have
fun,
it
it's
in
hobby.
mind. I'm just doing it, just for the sake of doing it, just for us to have something nutritious to drink. Until January this year. And so we're gone for before the event, the week of the event actually,
Mm-hmm.
after your convocation.
Yeah.
And my grandma was around and she drank Zobo. So for starters, as typical with people who are stressed and advanced in age, sleep is always a problem. So that day, feedback came to me from my mom that grandma drank the Zobo and slept off. I'm like, I don't understand. What do you mean she drank it and slept off? They should not sleep. She would sleep now. I was like, no, the Zobo helped to sleep. I was like, okay, we'll try it again. So another day like that, she drank it and she slept very well. And the next day, she was like, hey, that's your Zobo, eh? And I was like, okay, this is interesting. And we got that feedback from a number of people. You remember that we got from Uncle?
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Said he slept off on the chair. Like he literally, so actually he doesn't like taking Zubo. So it was like, okay, let me just drink this one that she sent. And I don't think he finished that's one he was holding when he slept off
So
on the
yeah,
chair
and
that
and
day.
speaking of the reason why he doesn't like to take Zobo, so he says that whenever he gets Zobo from other brands, when he takes it, he purges. So he
Yeah.
doesn't take Zobo outside. He must take it when he's at home. So for the longest time, whenever we send Zobo over, he just looked at it from previous experiences and the phobia did not let him take it until that night. I was like, okay, Shebi is at home. What's the worst that can happen? You go to the toilet. Let him just take it. And so he drank some. Nothing happened. His stomach was okay, very settled. It's like,
Now that sleep
what's
started
going
catching
on?
us like what's going on?
You understand? And then he drank again and slept off on the chair. I woke up many hours later and I was like, you know what? I want 5 liters. How much is 5 liters going to be? For somebody who struggles with sleep like me, how much is it? And at that point, I just thought to myself, for the longest time, people had asked, people want to have it. I think it's time. And that was it. We did not sleep that night until, was it 2 a.m.?
Actually, so we're just googling bottles, we're playing around with names. Okay, let's now pause here, right, and tell you the gist about the name creation. Jevida Craves is very sweet. Let's not lie, let's not steal. Mama. Okay, so the email that we sent last time, we had like a mistake, right? Mentioned that it was chat that helped us with the name. Chat, not verse, not be your person name with name. So it's actually Meta AI. So we went through our history again, and we were seeing all the interesting ideas that Meta AI was giving us.
Can you imagine Jevida Sips? Well, that's an okay name actually,
The one
but
that burst my
it
brain is
just
Jevida
didn't.
Mosels. Now who we dey say?
My goodness, Zobo with a touch of fufu, or what
Oh,
exactly?
actually, we should do Zobo infused flavor for akpu. Think about
No,
it.
no, it will not bang. Just get Jevida Craves Zobo and get your akpu. Don't mix it together. You can eat. The combination works when you have it separately. Like you have your akpu and your whatever soup, this egusi or whatever soup you want to eat it with, and then you have the Zobo there to push it down. That works. That's perfect. But please don't mix Zobo when you're making the akpu. You might try it and let us know. Try it. Try it. Please, if you want to. If your risk
Let's
appetite is higher,
okay.
you can try it.
Try it at Donna's Rescue. Hmm.
And then another name that was interesting was Jevida Harvest. Ladies and gentlemen, if you see me in the farm, Jevida Harvest is the reason.
Well, I don't blame Meta AI, Sha, because think about it. What you are using, is it not farm that they farm it in?
Actually, and all
You
of
know,
us are farmers. If you have planted something when you were in secondary school or primary school, I put it to you that you are a farmer.
bam.
Hello, fellow farmers.
Then another semester I did that was like I was going on with you. We literally okay, so you know this voice notes feature that Meta AI has. So we use the voice notes to like explain what we're looking for. And next thing I'm seeing Meta AI bring out is Javida. Bro, who is Javida?
Who exactly is that? And to think that we left the voice and went to type it. It's not Javida. It is Jevida. Jevida. Why are you making this name sound different? Anyways, of all the options that Meta AI brought out as name suggestions, Jevida Cravings stood out. And we just needed to put a touch that would bring out the finesse in the name. And that's how Jevida Craves was born. Oh my god! So the name was ready and
The next thing was the tagline. Yes. So
exactly.
now ChatGPT, you get your flowers here.
Really, I need to give flowers and Zobo to the person who created ChatGPT.
See, may you
That
live long.
tool has been really helpful, very, very helpful.
Hear this out. Uh, Indulge in nature's bounty. That was one of the taglines Chat gave us.
So another one was refresh, revitalize, relish.
Mm. All of them sure made sense somehow, but we're not feeling it when yeah. So
Yeah. So after a lot of permutation, combination, we later came to the one we currently have, which is sip, savor,
savor, relish
relish, goodness.
goodness.
Just because we want you to savor the taste while you're relishing the goodness that is Jevida Craves drinks. And this goes for not just the Zobo, but the Tiger Nut drink as well. It has the same refreshing goodness across both drinks.
Preach, sister. So next thing we worked on was the sticker creation. Okay, so
But
another
before
thing
sticker, there
was
was
the
the
logo.
logo.
Yes,
Yeah, so
yes. So
so logo had me in stitches, honestly, because I created the Zobo the logo rather. I created the logo myself, and it was a labor of love, honestly. I'd gone through a lot of them, and yeah, shout out to Canva. The
right.
years of working on Canva, I mean, I worked on it years ago. Doesn't mean that I kept working continually, but yeah. While I'm not very proficient at Canva, I would say Canva was very, very useful. Canva was what was used in creating the logo. So I went through different templates and I just was not feeling it until, a little bit of research here and there, a little bit of thinking, or no, a lot of thinking actually, and some work, and we have the current logo that we have. And so after logo came the stickers because face it, there has to be a sticker on the bottles. How would you know it is our drinks? and creating the sticker. Yeah, at this point, I want to give a shout out to our
Designer.
yeah. So I'll plug for the sticker Uche of UC Digital Print. You can check him out on Instagram. It's quite good. And if you've seen our bottles in person, you realize that the
In
stickers
fact,
are
that's the
good.
first thing before people taste the drinks, like those who hadn't tasted it before. The first thing that draws them in is, gosh, your bottles are so fun, your packaging is on point. Like literally.
Yeah, and I've heard
Literally.
that comment almost every person who had a drink or who came across it, because some just see it and like, oh my god. Yeah, last week I was speaking with someone, and I was speaking to about Zobo, and someone else, just a passerby, saw it. I was like, is that Zobo? And that's the same reaction everywhere. They're like, wow, I've not seen anything like this before.
Like Zobo that is this premiumly packaged, man.
Exactly. So speaking on the stickers, yeah, shout out to UC Digital Print, and also shout out to Adeola because she was the one who referred him to me. Uche was a darling, honestly. Initially, just I ran through the idea what I wanted for the stickers, and then we did a lot of editing, a lot of nitpicking, and we already have what we have. So thank you, Uche. You're the best.
Alright, people. Next up, the Zobo was ready. The recipe was vetted. It was delicious, confirmed. So the first sale we made was actually 3 5 liters. Let's even talk about this 5 liter bottle.
Oh my
Oh,
god.
ching. We
So
walked the length and breadth of our Gege markets because we are looking for fine bottles.
So the 5 liter bottle. So there was a vision we had for the brand actually, and we did not want your typical 5 liter that you what do you
That
call
used
it,
to go
that
and buy
keg.
fuel.
Yes, we didn't want that. It wasn't. It was not going to give Jevida Craves what we wanted it to be. To be
It's not
honest, for
bougie.
for all the bottles we had, it was a lot of selection. There was a lot of
Yeah.
research that went into what you currently see. A lot of research was done on the bottles, the sizes.
The
We even
cover colors.
Yes, to fit the brand. If you notice, our covers are always black, except the 5 liter bottles that has its own unique cover. The covers are always black, and it's intentional. If you check it, it goes with the brand flow, right? So after all the research was done, we had locked in on the type of bottle we wanted. The problem now came in finding the bottle. We went from one store to the other, and people kept saying, "This bottle, you won't see it."
Actually.
Someone once one told me then in the markets that this bottle is only people that are selling vegetable oil that have it. You
Yeah.
would not see it in any store. And I thought to myself, if people that are selling vegetable oil still use similar bottles, definitely
There's
someone
where
has
they
to be
got it
selling it.
from
They got it
now.
from somewhere. It did not fall from the sky. It was a lot of work, honestly. And
But
we
it wasn't Agege we got it from, though. We had to go to Ojota. So that was where we
Yes,
finally got
yes.
those bottles.
And yeah, speaking of Ojota, so the initial bottles we were using for 25 cl. Remember we had 25 cl, 35 cl,
Yeah, then
50 cl.
15.
We had to discontinue
Then 1 liter.
35 cl. Yeah. So currently on our catalog, we're having 25 cl, 50 cl, 1 liter, and 5 liters. So the bottles we got from Ojota realized that they were much better in quality than the one we got from Agege. So we switched to getting from
Because we
Ojota.
have to serve you
Exactly,
the best.
exactly, exactly. So
Okay.
yeah, we're talking about the first time we sold it officially, which was the 5 liters. I think before I talk about the selling, I want to talk about the feeling that was gotten when we pasted the sticker
Mm.
for the first time.
Have you been to heaven before?
It was
That was what it
surreal.
felt like.
Yes, it was surreal,
There's
honestly.
something about when you have a vision and you come to see it, like, gets realized, right? It's like coming from your head to reality. There's this feeling you just cannot describe, especially when it hits all the right spots. And that was what it was with our bottles and packaging. We're literally doing mini dances, but we
Yeah,
cannot disgrace
yeah.
our family heritage without showing you the dance. Anyways,
Yeah, so when we saw that, I was so happy, especially because, like I said, the launch was overnight. There was
yeah.
a lot of sleepless nights that period, and this was days. This was sold days after it was requested for.
And this was before our lunch. Oh.
Yes,
This three
yes,
5 liters that we
actually,
sold was
it was
before
before the
our
official
lunch.
launch, and we achieved this. We had logo, everything set in. We even had our e-commerce website locked
And
in,
email list.
locked in. My
So we did
goodness.
it. We did like Google Forms to like research what people liked and all of those stuff. So We did work, sha.
It did a whole lot of work. That was a full production team work.
Yeah.
Yeah. So talking about there's a customer, right? Shout out to Mr. Tony.
Ah, I doth heart
This
for you.
is a special customer of ours, really. And I'll say why it's special. You know, those people that genuinely support you. I know it's not just supporting for the sake of supporting. The first time he had a taste of the drink, he said, "Oh my honey, me." What that means is she knows what she's doing. And when I heard that, I felt so happy.
And
And
even like weeks after when we saw him in person, he was like, ah, that's his medicine, or that's his sleeping medicine.
actually, he pointed to his hand. I was like, "Look at myself. I feel
I'm
fresh.
fresh.
I'm fresh.
Like
I'm
he
sleeping very
religiously
well
buys
now."
one pack of 50 cl every week. Before then, he used to buy 25 cl packs. But I was like, this one is not reaching him, so he switched to 50 cl like packs every week.
And interestingly, it's not just for him, for his family as well. Such
Yeah.
that whenever he gets the Zobo, they already decide for the family. This one belongs to him, this one belongs to the family, nobody should touch his own. So a special shout out to him for his support through from inception till now. And
Yeah.
so talking about sourcing ingredients. Hmm. Ingredient sourcing has been chaotic every single time.
Because every time you go to the market, prices are, if they are not times two what it's worth, at least just know it will have added money. Ginger, case simple. Ah no.
Oh my
See, if you want
goodness.
to have
You've
headache in this
mentioned,
life,
see, mentioning that ginger just gave me PTSD right
well,
now.
maybe
See,
if you
oh
want your
my.
BP to go up, let's say when you have low BP, just start a business where you need to use
So
ginger in Nigeria,
ginger
Lagos,
within
Nigeria.
from January, February to now went from about 250,000 naira for one bag to 550,000 naira as at, was it last week? 2 weeks ago.
Mm.
As at 2 weeks ago, right? And it's
Like one
just
paint is like 40k now.
yes.
And
And
God,
that's
I
just it's just
beg.
crazy. And it's a key ingredient across both the ginger across the tiger
Zobo
nut
and
drink.
Tigernut, yeah.
Exactly. Aside that, understanding that if you buy ginger from two different places, you're not getting the exact type of ginger. If you're buying
Mm.
tiger nuts from two different places, even though it looks similar, it's not the same.
And even when you get from the same person,
It's not
it's
exactly
not
the
exactly the same
same.
if like time has passed, right? Because production, like, you know how fruits, how things that come from the ground are, you don't exactly get the same, right? There's always slight
Exactly.
differences here and
Exactly. And
there.
this also works for the oranges. Sometimes the oranges
Yeah.
are sweet, sometimes they're not very sweet. So
Mm,
some batches that was made in the earlier time, end up becoming a little bit tangy. Now, all of them are quite good. And this helps you to see that in the process of making these drinks, we are just working with nature. We are working hand
yeah.
in hand with nature. And we had to tweak ingredients, we had to tweak a lot of things along the way. You see this thing where they say you don't know it until you do it. And the art of doing is the art of knowing. The more you do something, the more you find better ways to improve in your process, to improve in your results, to improve in your tools and every other thing. And I'll dare say that Jevida Craves right now and Jevida Craves when we launched, we've grown.
Actually, cue in the tiger nut hustle that we had.
Oh
Ah,
my.
Osanoboa.
Oh
Hey,
my.
that's all I have to
See,
say.
Tiger Nut showed us shege Max.
Shege bones are. Anyways,
My
anyways, like there were
gosh.
batches that just went bad, and we're like, what's going on?
You know what was very painful about it was, firstly, we had portions of other batches that had gone bad for several reasons. And like we had mentioned earlier, the Zobo was locked in. Tiger Nut was not locked in at the beginning. It was great, but wasn't where we wanted it to be. So some part of it, out of a batch, sold out some, and then some parts go bad. And we're looking, okay, what exactly went wrong? We're constantly going back to the books, tweaking things up, and ensuring that it remains fresh for every order you
So let me
get.
just quickly cue in something. You see this thing about how you never know where you learn something and how literally anybody can give you insights that helps you. So one of the people malams we get tiger nuts from actually gave us some really key points that really helped us with our like perfecting the tiger nut process. I've actually gotten like just small pointers here, one sentence here, one sentence there from people in the market,
Actually, and they've
and
been
by the
really
time we mixed it up,
helpful.
we're like, okay, 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 this is making sense. This is making sense. So this is just me putting it in there. You never know who you can learn from.
Yeah,
Yeah.
there's no end to learning, and really, knowledge is always beneficial. So, yeah, talking about tiger nut issues, we had whole batches that went bad. It happened twice,
Yeah.
and it was very painful. My goodness,
In
I
case you see,
felt,
in case I'm walking on the road and you see me crying, know that it's tiger nuts that cause it.
I felt literal physical pains in my chest because there was a lot of money going down the drain. It wasn't just the money; it was the sleepless nights. Because, like I said earlier, I work. So it means that production, because we needed it to be fresh when we send it out to client to customers, like yourself, to your darling customers, it meant that I was having sleepless nights while still having to go to work the next day, which was no small feat. So having two full production batches going back, it was painful to say the least. The money
Mm-hmm.
wasted, the time, the energy, the resources. My goodness. But it was a learning curve, honestly. It was a process
Mm.
to learn because through it all, we're able to work on the recipe and every other thing that makes it the beautiful creamy delight you currently have.
Yeah.
And yeah, it was.
Nobody actually told us how hard this would be, but in the same light, nobody told us how fulfilling it is to do something so good that people love and that is making real impact.
I would say the fulfillment also comes from feedback, especially because feedback was the reason why we
Yes.
started in the first
Yes.
place.
So to know, so the feedback we're even getting currently, like especially from people that drank the initial batches when it was a hobby. We felt like, oh, this is much better. There's improvement. So that's like, okay, 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 we're doing something right.
And you know how people just give random feedback. So someone
Mm-hmm.
reached out to me. Was it last week? Yes, it was last week. And she was like, "Hi." So when I introduced myself, "Oh, my name is Joanna." She said, "Yeah, I know." I'm like, okay. So if you know I am Joanna, you're coming from a personal recommendation. Hi, how may I be of help to you? And so through it all, I was even trying to let her know that, oh, hi, if you're going to buy just, she wanted to buy just three units. And I'm like, you're going to get just three. And considering the distance you want to deliver to you to, I'm not sure your dispatch fee would really pay you. Why not get a pack? And she was like, a pack would be too much. It's just for myself, my mom, and her friend. It was just going to be too much. But the reason why she wants to get it is because her mom had brought it home before and she loved the feel she got when she drank it. That's the only reason she reached
She
out.
wanted to have that
Do
feeling
you understand? And
again.
she did not mind paying the dispatch fee. She said it was inconsequential. She just wanted to have that feeling. So reviews like this, the reviews is enormous, honestly.
I think one of these days we are just going to make an episode about reviews, right?
Actually,
We'll just
that
read
would.
out reviews, both audio, video. Okay, yeah, we'll show you video reviews to share. Yeah. So the next thing we're going to talk about in our next episode, trouble.
So we're going to talk about cravings, yeah, your childhood cravings, the things that you craved the most,
All
like
those
Baba Dudu.
snacks, all those
You
things that you
understand?
liked when you were
Yeah,
small.
I'm sure almost everyone, virtually everyone, had some cravings at some point as a child. So yeah, that'll be our
Even
topic
to
for
now, me,
the.
I'm still shy though. But anyways, let me keep it for next time.
All right, so this would be that for our first episode on the craves and gist. That thing we talked about, something you wanted to do and you finally see it happen. this
This.
this is
How
completed.
many months?
My gosh,
Like,
my
oh, let's quickly put out something very fun. I just remembered. Guess what? We posted. You know how we did everything overnight and everything. We opened our social media pages, everything, right? Go and check our social media pages as at now, like when we are doing this video. It's only pre-launch video.
pre-launch.
That's what's still
Actually, so
there.
based on social media, we have
Omo,
not launched, and a
actually.
lot of things have happened since then till now. Any which way, there'll be more of this gist and craves in subsequent episodes. Thanks for being here until now. You're the best. You're the reason we're doing this. Till next time, may your hustle be smooth
Your joy be loud
and
and
your
your
fridge
fridge
full
full
of
of
Jevida
Jevida
Craves.
Craves.